I was terrified because I had no idea what had just happened to my son's futures.
Melissa Mays and her 3 sons had their world flipped upside down back in 2015 when they received a letter in the mail.
I opened it up and there was a tiny little bunch of tiny print through this whole sheet, and it said for the previous 9 months, so the entire time we had switched to the Flint River, our water had been contaminated with cancer-causing disinfection byproducts.
The switch to the Flint River also exposed the family to high levels of lead. When consuming lead, it can cause many issues such as memory and hair loss, breathing troubles, weakened bones, and so much more. At the time of the exposure, Caleb was 15, Christian was 10, and Cole, the youngest, was 9. The Mays family noticed the effects right away.
Christian fell off his bike a few months prior, and his wrist shattered. His bones collapsed, and they couldn't understand why. He's a healthy kid. Cole had pneumonia in September of 2014, which now we know was most likely Legionnaire's, and he could have died.
While the lead levels continued to rise, so did the problems.
My oldest would forget the stuff he studied the night before, so he'd go take a quiz and completely blank on it. So we had to switch it to where we woke him up early to practice what he was taking a test over that day so it would be fresh in his mind.
It was summer, we all drank water. No idea. We honestly didn't even feel it until we started to. And by that point, at that point I have no idea how bad it's going to get. As you can tell from my speech, my brain fog is still pretty hard. Had to relearn everything from scratch, and going through high school and college, not fun.
It wasn't just the kids that had health problems. Melissa's also took a fall.
Mom's having troubles with her heart. She's having troubles with her lungs. She needs a heart monitor now. She has cancer now. It's not something I'm ever going to forget.
With her family angry, sick, and scared, Melissa just couldn't sit there and let it be. She had to fight for what's right.
In that same kind of health degrade, that's when her voice got louder and louder and louder.
As a mother, I'm angry. As a mother, I'm afraid. But I'm also a fighter.
Melissa took a big stand and made sure the world knew what was happening in Flint. Soon, her face would be seen everywhere, with her sons by her side.
They should be playing coloring, but they're coloring protest signs, and then they're going to, to Washington, D.C., raiding buses overnight to go sit front row for the congressional hearings, so they could look at my kids' faces. This is who you've harmed.
The family took every step they could to help others not to drink the toxic water.
We had water drives and such, and most of that was just because we all came together and fought, right? We made it public and made it known that we're not just going to sit here and get fed bad water.
Melissa kept fighting and eventually testified before a congressional committee, despite the feeling amongst many that nothing could be done to create change.
And then there was the whole thing of we can't fight back against the government. It's oh, well, no, we are, and we're winning and pushing. And then, the community came together. It was amazing, and we got a new mayor in.
The press was all over the family story, too.
But we did get to go to the Emmys. A&E and Sony and Lifetime came together with Katie Couric to do a movie based on the first 18 months of our fight.
Through the fight, there were some inspirational moments for the family.
I met some great people going through this. Some people I aspired to be like. And I consider that a great victory on my part.
10 years later, Melissa is a well-known activist in not only Flint, but in the world. She still keeps the community updated on the crisis through her podcast, What Are You Fighting For?
Is Flint's water safe? I'm going to let you tell me this. If you had the best, highest quality water piped to you through this, would you drink it? Would you give it to your babies?
The Mays family never fails to keep fighting for justice for the Flint community.
It's hard, and it's a mix of every day. But that's why I get up and I still do this every day, because I'm furious and I feel like I've got to fix something so nobody else has to be me.
And Melissa's kids will be right behind her through this fight forever.
We're going to keep fighting, right? It's not going to be something that ends, because it's what needs to be done.